In the game of life, it's all about the tale. Craft your story right, every ship will sail. From brick and mortar to dreams unveil. In storytelling and selling, we'll never fail. Roads to success, open with a key. When you're pitching homes or a legacy, listen to the beat, let your mind be free. Marketing magic magnified by 3. Storytelling and selling, where dreams align. Words weave wonders, this stage is mine. Hustle and heart in every single line. For real estate agents and small biz sunshine. From blueprint visions to the grand reveal. In the art of the deal, let's keep it real. Crafting connections, oh the appeal. With every sold home, we spin that wheel. Dial up the charm, let your passion ignite. From the cityscape shimmer to the soft porch light. Say it with flair, make the moment bright. Cause in storytelling and selling, we aim for flight. Storytelling and selling, where dreams align. Words weave wonders, this stage is mine. Hustle and heart in every single line. For real estate agents and small biz sunshine.
Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to Storytellin and Sellin. So here's the question for you. How should you act on video to have the most success? Should you do all of the trends? Should you do the faceless videos, the B-roll footage with the full article and the caption? What works? And how do you do it while being the realest version of you? What story should you tell to sell? Let's talk about it on Storytelling and Selling. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Come on in, storytelling, time to begin with RK3, getting down to biz. Real estate pros and small town winners. Oh, we're telling tales, we're selling dreams, crafting your stories, cashing in on schemes. In the house of hustle where the jazz beats flow. Storytelling and selling, it's RK3 show.
Yep. All right, y'all. Welcome to the show. It's Storytelling and Selling, the podcast. This is episode 3, and I'm so glad that you're in the space. In case you haven't heard, the whole idea of Storytelling and Selling, the podcast, is to support real estate professionals and small business owners in their quest to unlock their sales superpower. And I believe that your superpower is rooted in storytelling. So become a better storyteller. Become a better seller. Yeah. It's all about connection. When you connect, you're more likely to do business. And speaking of connection, I would like to introduce our sponsor for today. Our sponsor today is Restream. Restream believes in a future where everyone can be creators and follow their dreams, whether you're a real estate agent, small business owner, marketer, event producer, gamer, artist, or nonprofit. Restream makes creating and distributing engaging video content easy. So if you want to create professional videos, live stream them on multiple social platforms, and interact with your audience, Restream is your tool. If video is king, and then Restream is the mic that lets you engage with the kingdom. So we're going to be doing a giveaway. Restream is a phenomenal company, and they've agreed to give a professional plan for a year to one of our subscribers. So for a chance at winning a professional plan for a year, text Restream to 240-557-8679. That's Restream. Text Restream to 240-557-8679. And for more information about Restream, go to restream.io. All right. So as a segment of our show, we've got this segment called Relevant Revelations. Ooh, yeah. All right. Well, listen. Here's our first relevant revelation. So, in the beginning, if you were on the pre-show, we had a question, and that question was about the first documented real estate transaction. When was the first documented real estate transaction in the United States? Oh, do y'all know? 1992, 1974. Oh, guess what? The first documented real estate transaction in the United States took place in 1626 when the Dutch purchased Manhattan Island from the Native Americans for beads, trinkets, and some other goods. And this is according to Investopedia. But the first major real estate transaction was the Louisiana Purchase. All right, so go check that out. And that was in the 1800s. Go check that out. And that's in No Longer Nomads, Investopedia. No, second thing, our second thought for today, QR codes. Are you using QR codes in your business? Real estate agents, small business owners, are you using QR codes? QR codes are going to continue to rise in popularity for interactive marketing, according to Landlord Today. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, especially if you are doing brochures. Maybe you're still doing physical brochures, but if you've got QR codes, strategically, if you got physical brochures, strategically adding QR codes for videos, 360 tours, those are going to create a blend that will continue to rise. So use them even in your video marketing. If you're online, if you're doing repurposed videos, you're doing shorts, you're doing reels, etc., adding QR codes is going to help you in that realm as well. So our third trend, our third relevant revelation is that drones, oh my gosh, according to according to dronelife.com, people love seeing shots from above and the sky views of neighborhoods. And so drones increase sales by 68%. Drone shots increase sales by 68%. That's probably why Google Earth is still around. I don't know. All right, so go check out Drone Life New Jersey, NJ.com for that. And then the last thing that I've got to share before we jump into our episode today is storytelling. Yes. Are you shocked? Storytelling is something that, we talk about quite a bit here. Storytelling boosts conversion rates up to 30%. Strategically use stories, connect with your market in a way that no other conversation does. And the trick is using the right story at the right time. So storytelling, if you have not incorporated it, or you need a little bit of a freshen upper, what's the word there? Yeah. If you want to get freshened up about storytelling, then let's get connected and help you figure out how to use that more effectively in your sales. If you follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, I'll share the link for these relevant revelations, and I'll also share those in the show notes. Last thing, I believe that storytelling is the most powerful form of communication, and I also believe that one of the best ways to grow your business is through public speaking. So some of you might be freaked out a little bit and not know what to do or where to get started. So we're building a powerhouse group that will walk together to building a better business through public speaking. We're getting started soon. Get more information about it by signing up at storytosalesmastermind.com, and we will send you the relevant info really soon. All right. Let's jump on in with our guest today. Our guest today, Loida Velasquez, is a real estate agent with Real Broker servicing both California and Florida, and she's built her business through cold calling, oh no, and door knocking, oh yeah, while focusing on expireds and for sale by owners, and she's documented her journey on YouTube. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, where she has over 94,000 subscribers. As a real estate agent and content creator, Loida has partnered with some incredible brands, and most importantly, she's helped all sorts of agents bring their real estate game to the next level through a skills-based approach focusing on video, sales, and communication. She is the Wonder Woman, oh yeah, of real estate. Loida, welcome to the show. You know, I was wondering about that Wonder Woman thing first for a while. I just thought you were really, you had a lasso and you pulled people in, and you were really amazing. You just worked hard. But then I started to look and realize that you kind of look a little bit like Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, that's kinda how it started.
Okay.
When I started to create content on YouTube, I
Yeah.
started to get comments, and this was around the time that the Wonder Woman movie started to come out, and people were
Yeah.
like, "You look like Wonder Woman." And I'm like, "You know what? I'm just gonna run with it because maybe you're not gonna remember my name Loida because it is a little bit different, but you'll remember
Yeah.
Wonder Woman of real estate." And then that's pretty much how that started.
I love it. I love it. So listen, we connected last year on another show that I was hosting, and I loved our conversation. I loved our content. And as I said in the bio, let's jump right into this space, online, social media, how you're showing up. You've got more than 90,000 subscribers on YouTube. If we go to Instagram, you got more than 30,000. Yes, she's a real estate influencer. All right. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned from when you started your videos, when you started really leaning into online until now?
The biggest lesson, I
Hmm.
think it has been, creating a plan for where I want my influence to lead. What's funny is that when got into the business, this was back in 2015. That's when I started to create content on YouTube. And initially, there was no plan, there was no strategy. I started it because I was looking for information to figure out what it was like to be a real estate agent, to prospect, to make calls, to door knock. And I wasn't finding much. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to start documenting my journey, and if someone learns from it, great. If not, at least I put it out there. And what's funny is that as I started to create this content and posting it on YouTube, I was hoping that nobody would watch it. So I was like, post and pray, hopefully nobody sees this. But the opposite happened, and people started to find me. And well, fast forward to now, I think if I would have had a strategy in the beginning for where I wanted to lead people, things that I wanted to create, or even leverage these platforms, my business probably would have skyrocketed even more. But that's just one of the things that I think I jumped into doing with really no idea what I was doing because it was still newer to see like influencers and people in real estate creating
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. So let's lean right into, or let's continue that trend right there. So all of us have experienced the starting of something,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh my gosh, you had no idea what you were doing. Were you just getting on, kind of faking it till you make it, or were you paying attention to what other people did and trying to do things like they were? Tell me a little bit about the what you were actually doing right at the beginning.
I was just picking up my cell phone and pretending like I was a news anchor and recording myself. I mean, I feel like there were not a lot of people that I could watch and be like, "Oh, okay, I wanna do something similar to them."
Mhm.
So it was just me recording a video, just talking about what I was learning or what I had learned, a lesson in real estate, and recording it, editing it on Final Cut, the free version. I forget what it's called, but I taught myself how to do everything.
Yeah.
And it was just consistency. I knew that video was the way to go because it would help me stand out when there's thousands of real estate agents. So it was just more like, you know what? I'm going to post a video a week. I'm not sure when it's going to be released, but my goal is to post one video every single week. And over time, we'll see where this goes. And that's exactly what I did. Every single week, I built my channel over 2 years. And then after that, I just started to get better equipment, better ideas, collaborations. And that's kind of when it started to take off.
Yeah. So let's talk about the internals of that for a moment, because a lot of us see people online and we're like, "Oh my gosh, they look so professional. They look this way." And then you hear, "Okay, yeah, you've just got to do it. Just got to do it." And they may see somebody like you and say, "Yeah, she can do it cuz she's so confident in how she do." Tell me a little bit about what was going on inside of you, like mentally and emotionally, when you were starting this process.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because I get that all the time as well, where people think, they think that I've always been like this. But in
Yeah.
reality, growing up, high school, college, I mean, I was the shyest person you can think of. Public speaking would be the last thing that I thought I would ever do. So for me, picking up the camera and posting on YouTube goes back to when I said, hopefully nobody watches. So a little piece of me was like, hopefully I make it big. But another piece was like, hopefully nobody watches because it's embarrassing. But yeah, I was scared. I had no experience creating videos. I had no experience speaking in public. I remember posting content in the beginning and I would like stumble over my words or I would run out of breath, and people were noticing and dropping me comments and saying that like, "Hey, you're talking too fast and you're running out of breath." And I'm like, "Man, either I keep on pushing through or I give up." And for me, I kind of took those comments and told myself, I need to get better so that I'm
Mhm.
not getting these type of comments. So, it's very nerve-wracking in the beginning where you want to put yourself out there, but maybe you don't know anyone personally that has done it. And it's not something that's in your comfort zone. So for me, it was stepping outside of my comfort zone and knowing that this was going to lead to more opportunities, and I just had to do it, and then that's kind of what lit the fire under me to just, post.
Yeah. So let's talk about those opportunities for a second, because a lot of people start to do something, whether it's video or whatever it is. They start to do something and they don't see results right away. They don't see sales right away. I mean, let's talk about real estate agents. They
Mhm.
put themselves online and nobody's calling them immediately to sell, to list their house, or to go buy with them. What is it that kept you going when you didn't see immediate results?
For me, it was a standard that I had set for myself. I had
Mhm.
told myself, I'm going to do this and I want to be consistent. And I know that in the long run, I'm going to see the results. So, it's kind of like when you go to the gym, if you're trying to lose weight or tone up, you're not going to see the results in a week. I mean, you have to go consistently, you have to change your diet. So, I knew that the results for me of leads and partnerships and collaborations and people find me was going to come in the long run. So it was just more about just knowing that I had to stay consistent and trust the process and not get distracted by not seeing the results. Because I can tell you, even as a real estate agent that prospected making phone calls, I'm sure that there's agents watching this that after, a couple months, you're like, this doesn't work. I want to give
Right.
up. And then you move on to something else. And for me, I remember way in the beginning getting to that point, but I said to myself, you know what? I have to change my mindset because I have already come so far from when I started that my communication, my objection handling is so much better than when I was brand new that I know that I just have to stick to it and results are going to happen. And the moment that I made that mindset shift, that's when I
Mhm.
start to get a snowball effect of just people reaching out, leads that I had finally converting. And I said, okay, I just have to stick to it. And I can't let any distractions come in the way between what my goal is and what I want to achieve.
So let's get real for just a second, though. I mean, you said something, and I hear a lot of people, gurus, whatever, say this thing. You just said, "Oh, when I shifted my mindset, everything just kind of started to happen." Is it really just about you shifting the mindset inside? Are there other things that you're not telling us that you were doing, or is it really the mind?
It was the mind, it was
Yeah.
reading, it was who I was surrounding myself with, is what I was
Mhm.
listening to, who I was listening to, because for me, before I started my day, I was always role playing. I was always watching videos of high level performers that I'm like, they started at the bottom too. So if they got to where they are at, I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah.
I made sure to keep my mind positive and not surround myself by maybe people that were not doing well that would discourage me. So it's a combination of all those things
Yeah.
because the mindset, depending on where you focus your mind and your energy, that's where it's going to go. So if I start focusing and thinking, oh, I suck, I've been doing this for so long and I'm not getting any results, then I think that I'm just not a good agent or good enough, when in reality I have already progressed so far from where I
Right.
started that I just need to continue going and look at the right people.
Yeah. So let's get like a little personal for a second, because we're talking about how to bring the authentic you to this,
Mhm.
right? So let me ask you, the setup question is, what's your background? Where are you from? Where were you born, or what's your background?
So I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and my family's
Mhm.
from Central America, from El Salvador.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm asking that because English is not your only language. You speak another
Correct.
language as well. And some people real estate agents, I've heard say that they don't want to go online, or they don't want to show up because they've got an accent, or because they English isn't their first language, or they don't want to be criticized about sounding not middle America, or not like the
Mhm.
average American. What Number two questions: what is your advice for people who have that thought process? And was that something that went through your mind as you were doing this?
Well, to answer the first question, for anyone that's thinking that, I would say stop making excuses, because I think
Mhm.
that that's just an excuse that's stopping you from actually just going out there and do your thing. And my advice would say, um, maybe it might require for you, depending on how you sound, working on your delivery of how you pronounce things, just so that
Mhm.
people can understand you. But at the end of the day, there's a market for everyone.
Right.
I remember years ago, I had a new agent take my new agent boot camp. His name is Moti. He's out in Virginia, out in your area.
Yeah.
Ethiopian, and I remember him asking, he said, "You know what? My English is not that good. Do you think I will succeed, or should I, create content?" Long story short, as of right now, I think he's like one of the top agents out there. He was featured by the National Association of Realtors for top 30 under 30. I mean, this guy is killing it, and he has an accent. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it goes back to you either make it an excuse or use it to your favor, because there's going to be a lot of people also that speak your language and they're going to be able to relate to you versus
Yeah.
me.
I love it. I love it. So, what's the second part of it? Was that something that you walked through in your mind as well?
I never even thought of that. If anything, I
Yeah.
said, you know what? Now I'm going to be able to tap into another audience of people because I can communicate with them. And
Yeah.
it made just things so much easier.
Yeah. So as you began to become more comfortable with video, as you began to become more confident, I would say, online, was there anything that you began to do differently than when you first started?
I I began to get more comfortable. I feel like as you're creating content and being in front of the camera, initially it is kind of awkward
Yeah.
because you're like, I'm not used to this. I started to listen to my videos. I would watch my videos. I think a lot of people think that's cringy, and it is if you don't like hearing yourself. But I was studying my videos and I'm like, what can I be doing different, or how can I be getting better? So
Yeah.
I was doing that. I was just wanting to make sure that every video I was giving 1% better effort to keep on
Mhm.
getting better over time, more consistency. How can I now leverage what I have built here to create something else? So I mean, it got to the point because I had been consistent in posting. I have people finding me that want to work with me. I have agents sending me referrals, and it just opened the doors to a lot more opportunities.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the communication and the storytelling part of your content. When you're creating content, how do you decide what to talk about? I know one of the things that you are an expert in is telling or sharing with agents some of the top stories, some of the top videos that they should be creating.
Mhm.
How do you decide what to talk about?
A lot of times I just go based off of maybe comments that I have gotten or
Hmm.
questions that agents have asked me, whether it's through comments or messages or emails. I see what there's a need for out there that perhaps I have a skill for that I can explain or just give my experience and feedback. So
Yeah.
that's typically what I like to do. Something that I hear a lot of times from agents that have participated in programs that I have done, or even in comments, is, or even when they meet me in person, many times they feel like they know me already,
Yeah.
and who they see online is exactly who they see on person. So I'm very authentic to just be as genuine as I can, and what you see online is what you get, and you're not gonna get anything different. So the videos, it's just me, my personality, how I explain things. The way that I talk is how I like to be spoken to as well, where it's like easy to understand. If I ask you a question, just shoot me straight. That's how
Yeah.
I am, and that's how I've been able to, create the videos that I do.
Yeah. Do you have a strategy, a way that you kind of break down how you create content? So, for example, do you have, okay, yep, I'm going to do 60% real estate content and 40% just personal life of an agent, what's happening? What's your strategy?
Yeah, right now it's mostly just real estate agent education.
Hmm.
Years ago, I would do a lot of vlogs. I saw that depending on the topic that I'm talking about, a lot of agents would be more interested in that topic. So when it came to like communication and making phone calls and prospecting, that had a bigger reach and impact for agents. And then at the end of the
Yeah.
day, for me myself, it's like, do I want to educate or do I want to entertain? And I
Mm,
wanted to focus more on educating because then I could be seen as the expert, which would in turn allow me to get invited to speak, meet more agents, get more referrals versus making someone smile and laugh.
yeah.
I still do that here and there, but I'm more focused on educating.
Okay. How do you, as you educate, how do you balance trends, stats, and stories about what's happening in the industry or what you've experienced personally? How do you balance that?
I do like to incorporate, what's happening in the real estate world when it comes to the videos and content that I create. But I
Mhm.
also like to be just authentic to myself and put out content that I want to put out and not so much follow the trend just because something is hot. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think what's more important to me is being happy with what I'm putting out and knowing that it's going to help someone and not so much chasing trends.
Yeah. So I'm sitting down in front of my camera for the first time and I'm like, Loida, I want to make videos. I want to do what you do. I want to make sure that I get some ROI. I want to get some people calling me. What How do you advise me to proceed?
I would say grab your phone or camera or whatever device you have.
Mhm.
And if you're completely brand new and you're not used to creating videos, think of maybe one or two topics, record them, and just keep them to yourself. I'm not saying
Oh,
go and post them because maybe you're going to be like, I don't know, freaking out, but record your first videos and then watch them because then you can kind of see things that you can tweak or change, or you can start getting comfortable just hitting record. That's typically what I will advise someone that's like completely scared. But if you're like, you know what, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, Loida. You just tell me what to do. Okay,
yeah.
perfect. Figure out what topics you want to talk about, press record, no excuses, just post it, and we'll see what happens. Because
Okay.
that's what stops a lot of people.
Do you have a time limit? Because I mean, there's some people when you say, "Yep, record 2 videos and keep it to yourself and then just analyze it." They're like, "I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like," and then they never get to the point where they actually put it in public. What- what's the time limit? How many videos before you're like, kick me in the butt and like get your stuff online, dude?
Um, Maybe it is just those two. I think
Yeah.
everyone's different. What I would recommend for someone is to have tell someone, whether it's a family member, a friend, or another agent, like, "Hey, Jenny, my goal is to post a video by next month. Can you, keep me accountable for that?" Because a lot of agents, people in general, we need accountability because if
Yeah.
not, you're going to do something and then you're going to be like, you know what, I'll get to it eventually. But if someone's holding you accountable to it, now it's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then maybe, I don't know, if you're watching this, you want to post online, send me a DM, tell me, hey, Loida, I want to post my first video October 1st. I'll hold you accountable. I'll be like, well, what's up? Where's the video? Because I haven't seen it. And then you're gonna
Yeah.
feel like, okay, I gotta do it.
Love it, love it, love it. So tell us a little bit. I put up a graphic just now with your website where people can find you. And then there's also dominateprospecting.com. So tell us a little bit about where people can find you and tell us about Dominate Prospecting.
Yeah, so you guys can just find me anywhere online. My website, loidavelasquez.com. On YouTube is just my full name, and on Instagram as well, Loida Velas. Prospecting.com is a boot camp that I do. I have gotten very good when it comes to prospecting expireds for sale by owners and lead generation. And my experience and what I have learned is something that I teach in this boot camp and course. So for anyone that is prospecting, but maybe is not seeing results, converting leads. Maybe you are having trouble pre-qualifying, setting appointments, objection handling. This is what I cover in the Dominate Prospecting. Because at the end of the day, I want you to dominate prospecting go after listings and get more deals.
Love it. Thank you, Loida. Listen, this episode was fire.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, you can be you and you can be successful. As a matter of fact, you got the best chance to be you than you do at being anybody else. So make sure that you take it online, you take it on video, and you take it to the bank. Come on, join us for the next episode. We do these live, but you can also grab the replays on YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Remember to text podcast to 240-557-8679 so that we can let you know when we are going live next. This has been a phenomenal episode of Storytelling and Selling with RK3. Loida, thanks so much for hanging.
Yes, thank you.
Come on in, it's storytelling. Time to begin with RK3, getting down to biz. Real estate pros and small town wiz. Oh, we're telling tales, we're selling dreams. Crafting your stories, cashing in on schemes. In the house of hustle where the jazz beats flow. Storytelling and selling, it's RK3 show. Put your ear to the ground and turn up the sound. We're mixing knowledge, playing smooth and profound. From the main street shops to those high-rise sites. We're the bridge between dawn and city lights. Oh, we're telling tales, we're selling dreams. Crafting your stories, cashing in on schemes. In the house of hustle where the jazz beats flow. Storytelling and selling, it's RK3 show.